Good morning, guys. Colby coming to you from stolencats.com and priuscats.com, and the business name is Muffler Tech. And today's video is going to be on the latest victim of catalytic converter theft, which is the Nissan NV. So you can see the tow truck there that just dropped off this almost brand new Nissan NV this morning, and we're seeing about one of these a day now. So they're not quite reaching the Honda Accord or Toyota Prius status, but we are seeing them pretty frequently now, and I want to make sure everybody's aware of the danger they may experience in owning one of these around the theft of the catalytic converter. So make no mistake, the car that's most commonly coming to us now is the Honda Accord. You can see a couple behind me here, and I'll show you, we've got quite a few more waiting in the wings as well for insurance approval. But the Nissan NV is up and coming, and it's really important for people to be aware of it and start getting after some preventative measures. Because a lot of people use these for commercial use, and if somebody steals your catalytic converter, you're going to be out of work for a few days, depending on how long it takes you to get it fixed. So you can see Priuses and Accords still a major part of what we're doing here. But again, this video is going to be about the Nissan NV that's parked just along the side of that green Prius there. We'll show you what's happening with that in just a moment. So here I'm inside of the one that got dropped off this morning, and I wanted to show you that this vehicle is brand new. It belongs to one of the school districts here locally, and you can see it's got 71 miles on it, and the catalytic converter got stolen. Now that of course is a big problem with companies like school districts, because these vehicles aren't being used at the moment. Kids aren't in school. This comes back to COVID-19 in one of my other videos talking about COVID-19 and stolen catalytic converters and how the thefts are on the rise because of this pandemic. So let's walk underneath this one and I'll show you what it is that they're doing. You can see here, this is the rear flange that leads back into the rear cat assembly, and then another flange there, and then of course muffler, and then the tailpipe leads all the way out to a resonator and out the back of the vehicle. Now, like we've talked about in my other videos, they don't care about any of this stuff. It's interesting that they don't go after this particular cat here. Maybe it's too much work, too much stuff in the way. Could also be the value of this one is lower on recycling, but very similar to the Accords and Priuses. What they're doing is they're unbolting the bolts here that go to springs and bolts, and then there's a gasket that sits in here, and then the cat assembly would run all the way up here, up into the exhaust manifold. Now, if you look here, exhaust manifold bolts go in here and here, and they are the shank style with springs that hold pressure against that donut gasket right here. And it's a pretty quick job, I would imagine. Now, I have yet to see a video of the NVs being stolen, but being that these are not very low to the ground, you can see here, it would be pretty easy for somebody to slide under there with a socket and to unbolt. Here's the bolts here. They look like bolts and springs. You know, just unbolt it and swipe it. All right, so here's the replacement part. It's a factory part, as there are no aftermarket options for these in California. This is also going to pertain to New York. You can see where the rear flange is going to bolt up to here, and the front flange will bolt up to there. So a big part of doing this as a replacement is trying to keep them from doing it again, and this is our kind of our first line of defense. Here is the stock bolt, like I showed you earlier. You can see the end of it here just accepts a regular socket. What we do, and this is proprietary and exclusive to Muffler Tech, is we customize these bolts. So you still have the regular shank here and where it threads into the vehicle, but you see the end actually requires a key to get them off. This removes the ease of somebody getting under there with just a regular socket to remove these bolts and take it out of there, which is why we believe the Nissan NV is so popular, because it's so easy to just get under there and unbolt that guy right over there. All right, so here's our final product. We went ahead and get that factory part bolted back in here, as you can see it here. And now that it's in there, you can see where it bolts up. Kind of get a view to it right here. If you look closely, you can see the heads of those bolts, which I showed you a moment ago, right here. They require a key to get them off now, so somebody's not just going to unbolt it. You'll also notice that we have some extra tubing on there, which is right here where we have it welded. It comes back. See the end of it there. Another piece here, and then another piece on the other side here. If you haven't seen any of our other videos, what that is roll bar tubing. And a lot of other shops are using what we were using very early on in this kind of theft prevention stuff, and that's rebar. We're using the roll bar tubing because if you look at the edge here, how much thicker it is. This is very, very thick material. You can cut through it with a saw, but it takes a very long time and it tends to burn up saw blades. So this vehicle has received what has been most commonly known as our in-house level 1 and level 2. This is our level 1 to prevent the sawzall from cutting through, and our level 2, which are the bolts that require a key to be removed. So you can see the key here. Once this goes on here, rotate it around, it'll lock into that notch in, and then you can use a regular socket here to go ahead and remove them. So it's not an end-all be-all, but it's certainly going to make it a lot more difficult for the cat to be stolen on this vehicle now. Well, listen, guys, thanks for watching. I hope this gives everybody the important update of what people are looking at and running into around the Nissan NV catalytic converter theft. Please keep Muffler Tech in mind, and take a visit to our webpage, stolencats.com, priuscats.com, for any other information. And we're happy to help. Have a great day.